I don't know if I'm live. I'm live. Oh my gosh, people. I got hit with a cold. I mean, first I have to count my blessings because to be fair, I haven't had a cold like in a couple of years. And as a teacher, I used to get strep throat and stuff, everything. I got everything like 5 or 6 times a year. And I haven't had a cold for a few years. So I'm counting my blessings. I really am. But right away, people are like, are you sure it's the cold or is it the COVID? And guy. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's just a cold. But I wanted to go with the symptoms anyway because, I want to be responsible. But I am just like, my eyes are watery. I'm sneezing. I'm congested. I have a runny nose, like all the usual. But here was what it said. It said for a sore throat, okay, for the cold versus COVID versus flu, all of them have a sore throat. Check. Luckily, it was only really bad Friday night. And a little bit a Saturday only because I was breathing through my mouth because I'm so congested. So, yes, sore throat. I consider it gone. It was just like one really bad night. Runny nose, absolutely. Oh my gosh, which I cannot stand. And for COVID, it says it can be congestion or runny nose. Again, check. I have both. And for the flu, same. Then for fever, low grade, I definitely had a low grade fever. Oh my gosh, like it was only 72 in the house and I had to take my blankets off. I was dying. And then for COVID, it's interesting because it can be a low grade or a high grade, and it's something that tends to go off and on, off and on. So I thought that was interesting. And then for the flu, it tends to be higher earlier in the course of the illness. So at the beginning, it tends to be much higher. All of them have a cough. For a cold, it's sneezing. I completely agree. Whereas for COVID, it might be shortness of breath, and for the flu, shortness of breath. And then for all three, a headache. Luckily, I did not have a headache. I mean, other than the pressure of the sinuses, I don't have a headache. For the cold, there can be body aches. Same for COVID, same for, well, it's different. So COVID and flu are, cold are body aches, but for the flu, it's more like muscle ache or tiredness. And then finally, for both COVID and flu, are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Praise God, that's not my case. And then also the difference for COVID is loss of taste or smell. Mine's lessened, but mostly because I can't breathe, right? And then for the flu, it's chills and sweats. I so get it. So I understand why people, when you get sick, they immediately say, oh no, do you have COVID? Yeah, no, that's a hard no. Anyway, no, I don't have COVID, but I would certainly be willing to test for it. I mean, come on, I want to be responsible with everybody. So, anyway, I know last night I had to go to bed and I didn't do a JVV video, and I will be in the same situation tonight. I did have the grace to not do school tomorrow because I want to be at least a day better than I am. Certainly yesterday, which was the worst. Today, which is still bad. Oh my gosh, it's still so bad. And I'm hoping for grace tomorrow. And then finally on Tuesday, I pray to be functioning. But yeah, I just wanted to check in and just say, it's a bummer to be off our game at all, right? And I'm definitely off my game, but I still feel very blessed because again, it's perfectly imperfect in my eating. I've never been sick. I've never missed a day of school in almost 3 years. And I used to use all my sick days and pay out of pocket for the additional days. Like seriously. So I'm happy for that. And I have been on plan, right? 49 days? Is it 49 days? Wait, is today day 50? Today's day 50. Yay, I'm 50 again. Day 50. No game playing, totally on my plan. I was thinking about that, with the 12 steps and everything, and just being cleanly abstinent and working my program, which I'm doing 90 meetings in 90 days to just really cement it. Because in Overeaters Anonymous, you get to pick whatever you want to eat. And I am very happy with plant-based vegan, and raw vegan is my preference. So it wasn't about that. It was about getting my head in order, and just surrendering to the better way. So I'm so happy that for 50 days, I can honestly say without any game playing, that I've absolutely honored my body, which of course I call my temple. I've honored my body by eating properly this entire time, for which I rejoice to no end, and am going to continue to eat properly one day at a time. Only given one day. So just for today, right? But just for today, I'm gonna let my horses out. I'm gonna get some hot tea and just continue to care for myself. But love my JPV community. That's Jules Plus Vegan if you're not in the know. So people if you like joining us, if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below. Have you had COVID? Have you had a cold where everybody said, "Oh my gosh, what if you have COVID?" I do understand the very subtle differences. Let's look at that one more time. All have a sore throat. All have runny nose, but COVID might have congestion. All have fever, but COVID's fever may go hot, cold, hot, cold. All have a cough. A cold, particularly, is sneezing, whereas for COVID and flu, it might be shortness of breath. All have a headache. All have body aches, but for the flu, it may be more like a muscle ache or tiredness. And then the nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea are specific to COVID and the flu. The loss of taste or smell is specific to COVID. And chills and sweats are specific to the cold. All right, now you know, Annie Beard, I'm so sick. I'm glad you found me, girl. I was just giving all of the discrepancies because right away my husband was like, "Oh no, you don't think you have COVID?" No, I don't think I have COVID, hon. And people still get colds. The thing is, though, more than ever, yeah, I know. I did celery juice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I know celery juice is a miracle. And I'm doing everything right. It's okay, if I'm taken out for 48 hours or 72 hours. What I'm not open to is the idea that colds have to go on for weeks, right? I mean, I nourish myself so well that I really do believe it will just be like a 3-day thing. So I got hit really hard Friday night. I was so sick yesterday. I consider myself really sick today. And I'm hoping tomorrow will be the end. I mean, everything comes in threes, even when I think of Jesus, right? His 3 days of the passion and being rising on the third day. I am completely open to rising tomorrow, but I did take the day from school just to cover myself. So one thing they say that the cold and certainly the flu season has been greatly reduced the last 2 years because of people wearing masks. It was kind of like one of the few happy coincidences of having to wear a mask. And I was thinking about that in my classroom. I have a shield around my desk, and sometimes I think because of that shield and because I did ultimately get vaccinated, I feel like I can be safe enough to take my mask off to read if I'm reading the novel or something. But germs don't know the difference. They'll travel right over the top of that shield, right? We're not in a vacuum. So I was thinking back on that. Yesterday I was cleaning my room and I realized all the Kleenexes, I have Kleenex at 3 different stations. All the stations were empty. Well, before this, on Friday, it never occurred to me, wow, these kids have colds? You mean these kids are using Kleenex every 3 seconds and you didn't notice until now? So between not washing my hands quick enough, which is just a good practice anyway, and taking my mask off occasionally, I welcomed this cold. So after I heal over Christmas break, I'll go back and check myself a little more often, because those are just some very basic things that can keep us well. But yeah, Annie, I was saying, by all accounts, today's day 50 of my clean, pure eating, and I'm playing. And so that's why I know I have my best chance, to choose to just get well. But I wanted to check in. Love you guys. Love you, Annie. So glad you found me. If you like joining us, if you haven't subscribed. And again, let me know if you're familiar and if people immediately say, "Oh, it must be COVID." Love from Berlin. Girls, where were you? The party's just getting started, Saskia. Check it. We got friends finding me now at the end of my video. How could I possibly go? Love from Berlin. And my precious Annie. I love it, girls. I love it so much. Anyway, I'm going to go back to my drowning because I had the courage to take a shower. I thought, look, I'll check in with JBV. But yeah, all of this is too much. So Peace be with you. Your blessing for being here. And until we talk again, stay. What can we talk about? Do you have a topic? I love topics. You might renew me in this moment. You'll renew my energy just from being here. Yeah, because my topic was flu versus COVID versus colds. But anyway, I'm sure I only have a cold. Love you too, Andy. You guys are a blessing to me. I praise God to no end. Have a great day, everybody. So cute.